there and welcome back to some more Forza Motorsport 4. Today we're going to continue on Let's Play. This is episode 258. In today's episode we are taking on at the Lamborghini S-Class track day. For that we need a Lamborghini, and the car for today is lodged in our garage somewhere. It is going to be the 1988 Lamborghini Countach LP 5000 QV. Because cocaine. Unfortunately I'm starting cocaine alone today, but it is what it is. 235 tyres on there, 255s on the front. This thing gets big, beefy tyres, which is going to be good. We'll supercharge it and sort of add power to this and see where it lands. It should be pretty decent, this, in all honesty. Unfortunately, unlike most Lamborghinis that are expensive, this one wasn't expensive because it was free. So that's something. Won't go full roll cage. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it gains PI quite nicely. The inferior vector W8, I agree. 699. May as well just use that to get it up to S700. There we go, 657 horsepower, 462 foot-pound torque. So, reasonable power figures. Not quite as much as a modern-day Lamborghini, but still pretty good. And it's still rear-wheel drive, so that should make it interesting. A Lamborghini S-Class track day. Pass as many cars as possible, driving any of the event host Lamborghini's S-Class cars. I still think that's written weird. Catalunya Grand Prix circuit is where we shall begin on this mighty voyage. I wonder what the cars are going to... I think they're Miuras for this. I could be wrong. Usually they aim to put slow cars in, but there's not really... I mean, I guess Lamborghini is owned by Audi, but I don't think they would have thought that far ahead. Apologies that it isn't a Diablo, although I did use the Diablo in Forza 3, which you can go watch. I think that was the last road car I used in Forza 3, actually. I used a beige Diablo. So, there you go. Don't Mercedes 2016 it. It's a possibility. It could happen. 43 cars is our target. I did get this as a level up reward. I can't remember what level up things it was against. I think it was this or a Testarossa. It just so happens that this is by far and away the most expensive car you could get. Yeah, no, we're definitely stepping back in time because those are Miuras. Favourite Gran Turismo 2 exclusive cars, Lotus Elan, Spas F1, Vector W8 pretty much. Yeah, no, I can't remember what level this was at. I think it was like level 20 or something like that. It's still one was getting A-class prize cars. Because technically they wanted you to use this for A-class events, but we don't do that because we are rebellious over here. Spending more money on digitising cars over proper proofreading. Yeah. That certainly is true sometimes. This is cool, Countach with all the body mods. Although, I mean, it's kind of an interesting Countach to go for, because this is the 1986 model. So if they went for the 88, they would have ended up getting the minor facelift that happened. But instead, they've decided to go for the older one, but it's the one with all the trimmings on it. So the big body kit and removable wing and stuff like that. So pretty interesting choice. Not quite the most high performance Countach, but definitely the coolest out of all of them. I guess they wanted the Countach that looks most like the classic Countach, as opposed to the more modern version, which kind of really looked like a Lamborghini Diablo more than anything else. Great race in the rain, indeed. Front wheel drive Lotus Elan. Yeah. The 90s one, the one with the Kia, well, it wasn't a Kia engine, it was an Isuzu engine, but the one that got made by Kia in the end. Kia Elans actually get imported over here sometimes. I'd like one if I had money. Unfortunately, I'm not one of these people on Twitter who says I don't have any money and then proceeds to go, oh no, I don't have any money and one of my 4 cars is broken. It's like, you, what? This track is shite. It's fine. For an F1 race, probably not. For a video game, it's fine enough, I guess. Venturi, Lister Storm, Vector, Spas F1, roofs. Blitz the Storm appeared in a couple of more games in racing forms. Vector not so much. The Espace F1 no. The Venturi's also appeared in various racing games. There's different bits and pieces. It was back when it was easier to license stuff though. A lot of... Does most of Twitter like this track? Or hate this track? Isn't the common consensus to hate Catalonia? I don't really know how you can hate Catalonia because it's just more inoffensive than anything else. There's not a lot really going on here. The Isuzu land, yeah. Yeah, South Korea and sports cars back then were a little bit interesting. Because you had the Lotus Elan, the Kia Elan, and then later on we had the Daewoo Speedster. And the Daewoo, what was this Saturn Sky Daewoo called? The G2X or something like that. Which sounds like a dodgy game selling website. Dark Dog S7. Probably surplus to requirements as a lot of cars were. When the Forza 5 paradigm shift happened, you lost a lot of the cars previously in these games, so... And again, I think it just got surplus to requirements. I mean, the lowest GT1's in Forza now, so... Suzuki Cultus, yeah. Good old Suzuki Cultus. Dodge Intrepid, yeah, that's a good shout, actually. Can't think of many other games where the Intrepid showed up. Maybe it was in Toka World Touring Cars, but not too sure on that one. Oh, it's the Lamborghini Enthusiast. Forza 5 without DLC is unplayable. I wouldn't know, because I have all the DLC. I'll be honest. So... Drags the mod Intrepid, yeah. You haven't done the DLC. I got all the DLC by accident because it was whatchamacallit. I got a £50 gift card for buying my Xbox One, which they wanted me to buy FIFA 15 with. So instead I bought all the Forza DLC. So they got fucked. Dodge Stratus. Well, it would have been Chrysler Stratus because Europe. Nice colour on the Countach, I agree. It's a very nice, bright Miami blue, which is cool. Missed out on the DLC for both, yeah. I mean, you're not really missing out on much. FM5 did have a couple of exclusive cars smattered here and there, but... Yeah, I like driving games with a third roster. Usually that's how I end up buying obscure 2000s racing games, is sort of a quick search on IGCD. So I've ended up with the Alfa Romeo racing game and Mercedes World Racing and shit like that. FIFA, yeah. I bought a couple of FIFAs. I quite like... I can't stand football, really. I'm not that interested in it, but actual FIFA itself's alright. I like the idea of it, I'm just not much a fan of it. FM4 easy, yeah. Yeah, it's not a massively difficult game. It has its moments. Favourite Forza game? Oh, I get what you mean, you're replying to Omar. Favourite Forza game, Forza 7, probably. Because it's the most recent. Which means it's the best. Fucking Mercedes World Racing. Hey, Mercedes World Racing's great. You get to compare an A170 CDI to an A180. Still never played it. Probably alright though. It only costs like £2. It's not like Scar, which cost me £6 I think it was, and I've never played it. I haven't even checked if it works, so... My chance of getting an eBay refund are long since in the bin. So, that's fun. Sounds quite good. Not quite as good as that 355 we had last time. That thing sounded much more raughty and naughty, but this is alright. I have it, but I don't remember playing it. I don't think anyone remembers playing it. I don't think it's a particularly great game, but it's just sort of... yeah. Probably for the best it was at Mercedes 300D. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if an old diesel Mercedes ends up in something. Then again, I guess the best sort of old Mercedes is already in this game, and indeed in later Forza games as well. The 300 SEL 6.3 got a scar off some dodgy site. Same, it's called eBay. Favorite game is Forza Motorsport 3. Nice. Yeah, Forza 3 is good. A bit underrated these days. Then again, I guess it was just sort of Forza 4, but slightly less going on. It was the less interesting game to LP through, I'll be perfectly honest. This game's better than that game was in terms of an LP. Even if this game's longer. But then again, I think my formatting has improved significantly for this game. So... yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it sounds... I can't say it, so I'm not going to attempt to annoy some Germans, but... it sounds interesting, but I can probably see why it hasn't showed up particularly. Shitload of PS2 racing games, same. I still got to check on my PS2 Formula 1 games work. I've only played the first one, 2001. Played as Eddie Irvine in Australia. Got angry at the track Australia. Finished in like just outside the points, I think. And then got to Malaysia and got first in qualifying. And then gave up. Forza 4 felt rushed with one event. What was the one event it felt rushed with? There we go, Lamborghini in Fuviath. So that's 65,000 credits. Next one's going to be 75,000 and then 75,000 constantly from there on out. I don't know how many more Lamborghinis we've got to drive in this game though. Le Mans full circuit, interesting choice. Let's have a look at this. How many Lamborghinis do I have left to drive in this game? None. This is the final Lamborghini. There you go. Fun fact for you all. Also, because someone asked earlier, there is 31. $61, 62. After this episode, 62 to go. So. Long road coming to a close. Oh, yes, right, Japanese Tuners of Japan Speedway event. Yeah, you're right. We have a Let's Play the Getaway. I need to play it first. I need to buy it first, don't you? I don't own it. I didn't use Diablo GTR, no. It didn't slot in anywhere. Interestingly, despite the fact there's 331 events, there's still quite a few cars that are going to get left on the sidelines. Not much we can do about it. I think I've got the most interesting stuff in. There's not really... you're not going to miss out on a car that's sort of less interesting. I could have used the Diablo for this, but I figured the Countach would be a little bit more exciting, considering it's quite different. Yeah, Tuners to Japan, the Mugen event probably needed some thinking about as well. But then again, maybe through initial development they were thinking they were going to... I mean, to be honest with you, knowing the Forza devs, they probably never predicted anyone would actually bother to play through the entirety of the event list, so... probably more a mishap on that behalf, so... yeah, they played a couple of the F1 PS2 games. They're pretty good. I mean... well, they seem it anyway. Handling's a bit wonky, but other than that, they all seem to do a pretty decent job. Played Championship Edition a little bit as well, and that was pretty good. Can't moan too much about that one. I feel like if this was iRacing, I would have been killed about 3 times through there from backmarkers not knowing what the fuck they're doing. Found that out from Torrent. Apparently Le Mans is a bit of a shit show. Does it really? That's interesting. I know WRC Rally Evolved uses the Kasabian song. I think it's Clubfoot, which like every racing game back then had, so. You're messing with the enemy. That was a good pass. The game didn't think so, but I thought it was. I hope we don't fail this one, because this one would be a real bitch to keep redoing. Because it's very, very long. Le Mans pissing, indeed. I've been to Le Mans once, not the racetrack. I don't remember much about it. Yeah, so we all know exactly which song you remember from the WRC soundtrack. It's not even the best song in the game, SMH. You should know more than that, because you've obviously watched the cheat video at the end of WRC 1, which had all the in-game songs in it. And then even the WRC 2 soundtrack, because I couldn't find anything else. Cheat's video for that is probably going to be a little bit less varied with the soundtrack. I'm probably going to have to just steal something from somewhere else. I'll just stick Loon on repeat. The only thing missed about Forza 3 and 4 was the tuner's disappearance. I mean, they didn't really disappear, they just sort of got carted away on their own little island. I sort of understand the reason why they went that route, because you're not really locking legitimate cars. Basically all the unicorn cars in this game were just variations of cars that were already in the game, but it's still a little bit weird and disheartening. Fortunately, after Horizon 1, the active unicorn cars kind of disappeared. Though, well, I say that, Forza 7 had them initially. Forza 6 has 2 of them. Sorry, 3 of them, but that's it. In case you're wondering about those 3, it's a Ford Escort RS 1600, Ford Escort RS 1600, the 69 Falcon, and the Ferrari F33 go-kart looking thing. That's in this game as DLC. No, Forza doesn't do unicorn cars anymore. They tried with 7, but it's gone away now, and I don't imagine it's going to come back. Technically speaking, if you think about the definition of unicorn cars, almost all of the sort of prize cars in Forza Horizon 4 are unicorn cars, because they're not typically accessible. I watched the cheat video and I only still remember the feeder song. The rest of it's pretty good. There's a New Order song and a song by Solmax. And then the lead song was done by a band called Faithless, which you might remember for Insomnia. I can't get no sleep, do, that song. Would play it, but copyright. '58 out of 95, we're definitely gonna do this, so that's nice. It just takes a while to don't get done, you know what I'm saying. The interior in this car's always been quite interesting though. For some reason Forza's gone with a car with a white interior and windy windows. I'd imagine electric windows is a thing in this. Do you know what's been sticking in my head recently from WRC 1, and not the fact that I really need to do WRC 2? The intro goes like, and you have to go against the greatest enemy of all, time itself. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of right. Time really is the limiting factor of humans is time. The limiting factor of everything in life is time, really. It's something runs WRC 2. I mean, by the time this goes out, they'll have figured it out. I'm thinking it's probably after San Andreas. I think Forza 4 is going to be allowed to run a little bit on its own, but sort of May, June time is probably time to start looking out for WRC2, sort of end of May, start of June. I'm thinking what the plan for that is probably going to end up being is I'm going to do... It's going to have about 2 weeks dedicated to itself. So it's just going to be WRC2 for the first 2 weeks as we get through the 14 stages. And then once I get into the higher difficulty, I'll do what I did with San Andreas and sort of transition it with Forza 4. Although it will be on alternating days instead of being specific days. Yeah, Skoda Octavia is definitely the start car for that. Favourite racing games, Gran Turismo 2. Gran Turismo 2, Gran Turismo 4, Forza 7 is essentially in that order. Favourite driving games. Although I guess GT4 and 7 can kind of swap around interchangeably. I hate certain things about each of them. But GT2 is very, very good. Yeah, no man, I have to use the Octavia at some point, obviously. Although I will say it's probably the best car in WRC1 if you want to try that out. At least for me personally, it seems to be the car that has the handling is not too sensitive on it. It can take a lot of punishment, and it's pretty darn quick. Favourite racing games, Forza 1. Cool. I wonder if we're going to get to pass 100 cars by the end of this. I'd imagine we are. But yeah, no, definitely around June time. What I'm thinking this time round is I'm probably going to do WRC 2 and 3 fairly close together as well, so yeah. Because I love the WRC series. The problem with me is I sort of forget how long ago stuff was. Like, I can't quite believe that WRC 1 was almost a year ago. By the time this goes out, it'll almost be a year ago. By the time you lot are seeing this, it's like 7-8 months or something. But yeah, no, yeah, we have already hit 100 cars. Yeah, no, it's remarkable that it's actually been that long ago that I was doing that. Back in, I think it was July that I first started. It's either July or May, I get confused. I think it was May to July, maybe. I can't remember. Either way, 111 cars passed. Kind of had a bit of an issue towards the end, but we'll ignore that. Toka 1 LP is probably going to get redone if I return to Toka, so I've still got an idea with that, but it's just a case of me being proactive enough to act on it, which you can never really trust. Although, in all honesty, if I was to do Toka 1 again, I'd probably use the Laguna again, so don't be hoping for anything interesting. I have no idea what Forza Street technically is, because Forza Street isn't really... Well, Forza Street, I don't think it was its own game. I think it was a different game that got renamed, so... It's a bit like if GTA bought out Saints Row and changed the name of Saints Row 4 to Grand Theft Auto Steelport. Yeah, Forza 2 LP was a long time ago. That isn't getting redone. Realistically, on my channel, there's about 3 or 4 LPs that are getting redone, and that's not one of them. Miami Street, that was it. Excuse me. I'm not a fan of the grid games. I really don't like 1. 2's fine, and Autosport was just a bit boring. Quite sure. I haven't played it. Maybe I should, because I do own a mobile phone. But I don't really play video games on my phone. I've got the GTA series on it, but I don't really even play that occasionally. I occasionally like bring that up at work just to show people, and they're like, that's cool, but outside of that, not really. GTA 4, GTA 5, GTA 4, definitely. No question. Yes, I will LP Forza Motorsport 5. Don't expect it for a while though. I think the plan's probably GT5, GT6, and then we'll loop around and do Forza 5, and to be honest with you, Forza 5 is probably the last Forza game I have interest in covering. For at least now. Forza 6 is really boring to play through, and Forza 7's got all the homologation bullshit going on with it, so not really looking to do either of those games. I could, but I'm not really thinking about it. So Forza 5 will probably be where the Forza cutoff is. But then again, with Gran Turismo, I mean, I'm not gonna LP Sport at all, so. And 7 is just a case of wait and see. It probably won't be out by the time Forza 5 LP's in it. People saying it's going to be this year, I highly doubt it. We know what Polyphony are like. If it's out within the next 2 or 3 years, I'd be amazed. Although this could absolutely age like bad gravy at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. So. RPM tuning LP, get fucked. That'll be a stream more than likely. I think from now on, the really bad racing games are just going to be streams like Pimp My Ride was. So, RPM tuning, anything Davalex we come across. Little Britain the video game, that'll all probably be live streams. So, I got it when it was free on Games with Gold. Yeah. Now it does breathe life into old games. I got a comment on the ETCC Season 1 recruitment video a while ago, so I actually ended up taking it off. Some guy was like, yo, is this still available? Even though it was like 3 years ago, it's like, nah man, we've moved on to Forza 7. So. But yeah, no, when it goes Games with Gold, like when Forza 6 went Games with Gold, a bunch of people were asking me if I'd do like a multiplayer live stream with it, and I didn't, but Little Britain stream when. If I get really bored on like Sunday or Saturday, because I don't think Boost is around on Saturday, we'll see. I haven't done a stupid game stream in a while, so maybe I should. Favourite game to LP so far has been, I don't know actually. See, there's two. When it comes to doing Let's Plays, there's two different types of stuff. There's LPs that are like fun to do, and then there's LPs that are like really gratifying to do. So like fun LPs are like black box Need for Speed games like Underground 2, and Carbon was really fun actually, because Carbon's the Carbon, not so much Underground 2. Carbon's the perfect length for an LP. It's like literally like 4 hours long. You get about 20 episodes out of it, it's really fun. But then there's like gratifying stuff like finishing GT4 and GT3 and FM3 and eventually this. They're the more fun. No, 62. God knows. No one is at the moment because I think it's unlisted and privated somewhere. So. Anyways, my fucking nose has been itching all day. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I need to have another shave before I go back to work. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Next time, I'm going to be taking a look at the Aussie V8 passing challenge. So join us for that. Until then, farewell.
You know the sorrow that my heart holds in, knowing just where my hopes and dreams are going. I won't let you break. Got up in a wall that you are not part of. Eyes on the slit of your front.